keeping up with everything going on. It can feel like a lot, can it?
Oh, definitely. Information overload is real.
So that's why we're here. We've sifted through a batch of recent Infodrone publications. These are from late April 2025, all focused on what's happening in Montreal right now.
Exactly. And these Infodrone reports, they give us a really interesting snapshot of the city. We're seeing stuff about growth, community projects, infrastructure, kind of the whole spectrum.
Yeah, it's quite the mix. Some big projects, some maybe smaller things you might not have heard about.
Uh-huh.
So our plan is to unpack the key developments, maybe see how they connect, and give you a good handle on things without, getting bogged down.
Sounds good. So where should we start? Maybe with how the city is planning for growth. Education seems pretty fundamental.
Good call. Yeah, I saw that the Montreal School Services Center, the CSSDM, they submitted plans for 8 new school projects.
That's right, 8 of them. And what's interesting is where they're planning to put them.
Right. I mentioned eco districts in these like developing residential zones, not just randomly placed.
Exactly. It shows they're trying to be strategic,
Right.
building schools where the growth is actually happening and linking it to sustainable development, too.
Makes sense. Integrating things from the start.
Yeah, the report used the phrase creative and collaborative approach to these urban challenges.
Okay, collaborative.
Mm.
What does that look like in practice, do you think, for schools?
Well, it probably means talking to everyone involved, city planners, the local community, teachers, parents getting their input on the design, how the school fits into the neighborhood.
So it's not just dropped in from above.
Hopefully not. Especially in those eco districts, you'd want it to fit the sustainable goals, maybe use greener building techniques, that kind of thing.
Okay. Now, thinking about shaping the city in other ways, there's the new Place de Montréalais that just opened, right? May 17th.
Yeah, inaugurated right there at the Champ de Mars metro exit. Prime location.
Super central. And it's meant to be more than just a square.
Uh-huh. It's designed specifically as a pedestrian link, connecting downtown with Old Montreal, making it easier to walk between them.
Which can be a bit of a barrier sometimes.
It can, yeah. And they mention it being green, flowered, sloped. Sounds like they want it to be a pleasant space, not just functional.
Like somewhere you might actually stop for a minute.
Exactly. And stepping back, this fits into a bigger trend, doesn't it? Improving walkability, focusing on public spaces.
Seems like it. Okay, so
Okay.
from specific spots to a whole neighborhood, Saint Michel has this new strategic plan, Vision 2032. That sounds ambitious.
It really does. It's looking at improving, well, pretty much everything. Access to resources, promoting healthier lifestyles, safety, and even planning for a socio-ecological transition. It's broad.
A big 10-year vision, roughly.
Yeah, and importantly, the Infodrone piece highlighted that it was developed with a lot of community input. Stakeholder consultation, they called it.
So people who live and work there actually had a say.
That's the idea. And usually when you co-create a plan like that, it has a much better chance of actually working and, reflecting what people really need.
Makes sense. Community buy-in.
Definitely.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, but still on community.
Mm-hmm.
Louvre Soup Maison in Lachine. They just hit their 40th anniversary.
40 years. That's incredible. Founded by Gerard Lefebvre, it's been just a vital support in Lachine for so long.
Providing food, obviously, but also job help.
Yeah, both. Addressing immediate needs with things like free weekly meals, but also helping people find work, get back on their feet. It's pretty comprehensive.
Wow, 40 years of that. It really shows the power of those local grassroots organizations, doesn't it?
Absolutely. They're often the ones doing the really essential work on the ground.
Okay, so let's swing back to some larger-scale urban development. The Nordelec project in Point St. Charles got the green light from the city.
Yes, that's a big one. And a key part of that approval was allowing taller buildings there, near the Lachine Canal.
Right, that'll change the skyline a bit.
It will. And the developer, Allied Properties, REIT, their plan is interesting. They want to transform that huge historic Nordelec complex.
Into what, mostly?
Primarily offices, it seems, but also bringing in restaurants, bars, shops, aiming for a kind of vibrant, mixed-use feel within the old building.
So keeping the shell, the history, but making it a modern hub.
That seems to be the goal, yeah. And speaking of city operations and infrastructure, the Montreal Sustainable Mobility Agency, they're setting up shop in
An
LaSalle.
operations center, right, on Lapierre Street.
Exactly. 2345 Lapierre. It's basically going to be a base for parking enforcement officers covering the West End.
Ah, okay, so not somewhere the public needs to go.
No, the report was clear on that. It's an operational hub. They did have a public consultation back in April, though, about using that vacant industrial building.
Good to know. Just streamlining things behind the scenes.
Pretty much. And on a totally different infrastructure note, but still city-related.
Yep.
A bit of good news for YUL. Montreal Trudeau Airport,
Oh, yeah.
named the cleanest airport in North America by Skytrax.
Hey, that's pretty impressive. Good for Montreal's image.
Definitely. Always nice to get that kind of recognition, especially for a major gateway.
Okay, back down to earth. Or pavement. Cycling. Big project on Hochelaga Street.
Yes. Transforming it into a modern, safe cycling corridor. That sounds really promising for cyclists.
How long is that stretch?
It's about 6.5 kilometers, and work was set to start this May 2025. The focus is really on improving safety and just making it a better ride.
Which is always welcome. We need more safe roads.
Absolutely. And it's not just Hochelaga. There's also renovation work starting on that long bike path connecting St. Catherine and Saint-Lambert.
Oh, the one that goes through, like, Broussard and Longueuil, too.
That's the one. It's about 13.4 kilometers, so connecting multiple municipalities. It's a big regional effort.
That's great. Building out the whole network, not just isolated paths.
Exactly. Encourages more people to actually use bikes for commuting or just getting around.
Okay, now, for something that affects a lot of people directly in their wallets, rent, the TAL, the Housing Tribunal, they set the rent adjustment percentages for 2025.
Ah, yes. Always a big topic. These percentages, they're based on things like the Consumer Price Index, other economic factors.
Trying to find a balance, I guess.
That's the goal, yeah. Balancing the landlord's costs for upkeep and taxes and whatnot with what tenants can actually afford. It's always a tricky calculation.
And probably highlights that ongoing tension around housing costs in the city.
For sure. It's a challenge in most growing cities, really.
Right. Okay. Another major redevelopment, the old Monastery of the Resurrection on Rosemont Boulevard.
Yes. That's being turned into a pretty large residential complex, nearly 900 units planned.
Wow. Any affordable housing in the mix?
Yes. Crucially, the plan includes social and community housing units,
Yeah,
which is really important.
definitely. And are they keeping any of the old character?
They are. They plan to preserve part of the wooded area, actually expand the nearby Bois de Pere Park, and also enhance the old cloister. So trying to blend new housing with preserving some nature and heritage.
That sounds like a thoughtful approach, not just maximizing density.
Hopefully. It's a positive sign when development tries to incorporate those elements.
Speaking of nature, the reports also mentioned, the simple fact of migratory birds returning. Spring in Montreal.
Always a nice reminder that we share the city. And if you want a closer look at local wildlife, there's the Eco Museum Zoo.
Out in Saint-Anne-de-Bellevue, right? The only outdoor zoo on the island.
That's it. And their whole focus is Quebec wildlife. Plus, they do a lot of conservation work and education, which is great.
Yeah, focused on our own backyard, so to speak.
Exactly.
Okay, a couple more quick ones. Healthcare related. The Point St. Charles Community Clinic joined an association, the AEPC.
Yeah, the Association of Private Institutions Health and Social Services. Basically, joining this group could give the clinic access to more resources, support, maybe share best practices.
So, potentially strengthening their ability to serve the community.
That would be the hope, yes. Bolstering those essential local services.
Got it. And then there was a mention of Montreal's Vietnamese community, highlighted in a La Presse article.
That's right. Jean-Christophe Laurence wrote the piece, and Infodrone summarized it, adding some stats, too. It basically emphasized how dynamic and well-integrated the community is.
Just a nod to the city's multicultural fabric.
Exactly. Important to recognize the contributions of all the diverse communities here.
And finally, looks like things are officially kicking off with the big Radio Canada Tower project, Le Quartier des Lumières.
Yeah, led by Group Mach. That's another massive transformation project getting underway. It'll definitely reshape that whole area around the tower.
So much change happening all at once, it feels like.
It really does.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, based on those late April Infodrone reports, wow, we covered a lot. Education, public spaces, neighborhood plans, cycling paths, housing, community support, even birds.
Yeah, it paints a picture of a city that's constantly evolving, doesn't it? Our goal was really just to give you that snapshot, a shortcut to being informed on some key Montreal happenings right now.
And maybe something for you to think about as you go about your day. How do all these different pieces, the big projects, the community efforts, the infrastructure, changes, how do they fit together? Which of these developments do you think might end up having the biggest impact on Montreal, or maybe even on your own neighborhood in the long run?
Definitely some food for thought there.